Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Live. I am your host, Tracy Reddy. I am the number one dating consultant for single Black women, helping you get prepared for the love of your life. And today we are having a continued discussion on our topic love and respect, men versus women. And I have two amazing individuals here with me to discuss it. So, a couple of weeks ago, we had from a female perspective. Last week, we had from a male perspective. Today, we're coming from a professional perspective on this whole idea of love and respect. I feel like my light is so bright. Hold on. All right. Okay, that's better. Uh-huh. All right. So first up, we have Mrs. Should I say, LaTania McAdoo. She is from Charlotte, North Carolina. She was born and raised there. I know her because we both received our master's degree in marriage and family therapy from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. She's a licensed clinical mental health counselor in the state of North Carolina. She's worked in the mental health profession for over 13 years in a variety of settings. She is currently in private practice where she specializes in couples therapy. So she's really going to give us good perspective from both angles. She is in pursuit of becoming a Gottman certified therapist and has currently completed levels 1 and 2 of the training. You know anything about the Gottman thing? It's all about helping couples. So she's going all the way in with this couples thing. Okay, we can really trust what she has to say. She is also a 7 principles for making marriage work leader, and she will be facilitating couples workshops later on this fall. I'm going to bring her up now. But as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and read the other guest bio before I do. So, second guest, y'all know, y'all seen before because he's been here. Um, he is a 12-year experienced family and relationship therapist. He's the author of Ready for Relationship and From Relational Hurt to Spiritual Healing. He's the founder of Ready for Relationship Consulting, and he is also a licensed therapist in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to bring up A.B. Bracewell and LaTania McAdoo. Hold on one second.
Hey.
Hello, you all.
Hi.
I'm like, hello, how you doing today?
Good, good. Thank y'all for joining me on this discussion.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Always
Absolutely.
open.
I know. This our second time telling you got to come back, girl. So you ain't gonna be new no more.
Right.
You ain't got to go in the refrigerator this time. Next time you gonna be, you free to roam around the house. So
Okay.
maybe you been here before. Go and get yourself something to drink. Uh,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
know
y'all.
that.
I'm gonna give you two each a second to tell us a little bit more because I gave kind of an overview, but I really want to hear the passion as to why and how you ended up in this field of study. And we'll let ladies go first. Tanya, tell us more about your passion and love for therapy and specifically working with couples.
Hello, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me. It is indeed a privilege to be here. I love, love, love couples work. I love working with couples, even those that are in high conflict. I love working with them. And my passion, I believe, began when I was a wedding coordinator. I was a wedding coordinator for 15 years.
I did
And,
not know that.
and one of the things I realized is that couples weren't staying together. And at that time, I did not have any resources, any tools, or anything to help them with their marriages. And so I would always have to refer them to a pastor back then. I would refer them to pastors for counseling, premarital counseling. And so it just dropped in my spirit as I was ending my undergraduate degree in business
Mhm.
that the psychology field is something that I wanted to get more information about. And so I started with, exploring with marriage. Marriage is something that I always desired. I got married at 49 for the first time. So I wanted to be able to get marriage right. And so, I just strive to help couples in conflict, help them to really see, what is missing, and try to help them to bring it together, to operate as a team instead of operating as two different individuals.
Wow, that is so powerful. It's really something when, it's not just, oh, I just have interest in it, but you really had a whole purpose going towards this field.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that you used to be a wedding coordinator. So now
Yes.
that makes sense why your wedding was so fabulous. Okay, then. I did not know that. Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So, AB, tell us more about you and what's the passion that drove you to this field, and also your passion towards helping couples get ready to go to Tanya and get married. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I might have to get your number and your address and send some people down there to get some wedding organized. But yeah, I'm AB Bracewell. When I started in the field, I started working with mainly children. I was working in the school systems. I was working at home, working as an outpatient therapist, having children come to me. And with all different types of diagnoses, ADHD, ODD, adjustments disorders. And what I realized is that I wasn't, or the child was not making the type of progress that I would like, or that I thought that they should make in certain areas. So I started to meet the families more. I started to speak to the parents and bring them in, because especially when you're working in the school system, you don't always have the opportunity to meet the parents. And as I started to meet the parents, I started to get a bigger view, a bigger perspective of what was going on with the child. And I started to realize, this child is not raised in a vacuum. This child comes from a family, comes from parents, and they're the foundation of the behaviors that I'm dealing with. They're the foundation of whatever mental health disorders might be going on, for the most part. So I just started really to get more interested in working with the entire family unit, opposed to just working with individuals. I really feel like we are built out of relationships. The people that we become, the people that we are, is highly dependent on the connections that we have. And as far as that, I believe couples, a mother and a father, or whatever level of relationship it might be, is the foundation of the family, and the family is the foundation of the community. So that's what really made me gravitate towards working with couples and working with relationships and working with the entire family unit.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm talking and you couldn't hear me. I was on mute. It sounds a lot the same reason why I got into. Let me bring us up. It sounds a lot of the same reason why I got into the field as well. It was trying to be more proactive on bringing, working with the people who created the problem as opposed to wait till they had the problem and then trying to fix it. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really love years ago when I was getting ready to go into school, time back then. It was I saw it was an influx of people that would just ended up in my circle, in my world, who also were like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go back to school for counseling. It was Black folk. And I said, it must be a thing that's coming down the pipe. The Lord is getting a lot of therapists ready in color, to be able to deal with some of the things that's going to be going on. So it's just exciting to see it actually happening, and seeing all y'all so passionate, so involved, getting into not just counseling and therapy, but niching down into specific areas where we could use help as a community. So again, thank y'all for being a part of this discussion and just a part of the healing community. So you guys who are listening, you all who are in the chat, please let us know where you are, where you're from, and be sure to submit your questions for our guests here as we have a discussion. We'll be happy to answer them along the way. So yeah, we're gonna jump into our first little segment. It's called On the Wall, y'all. Now hold on, I'm gonna pull this screen up. I meant to do it before we went live, but y'all close your eyes that don't, that don't supposed to see this part before the head happened before. So y'all just close your eyes, okay? So On the Wall is a segment that we have where we discuss a topic that the guest has chosen from the Soul Care for Single Black Women page. Now, if you don't know about Soul Care for Single Black Women, y'all, that is my baby. We have almost 6,000 followers over there, and we are talking all things about relationships, soul care, taking care of yourself from the inside out, all those good things. So if you have not gone over there to join, be sure to join Soul Care for Single Black Women on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So on the Facebook wall, we have what we call, we on that wall of Facebook, we're posting tips and hints and tricks and things on there. And we like to have our guests select a topic from the wall that interests them, that they want to elaborate on. So Tanya, LaTania, she submitted the following. Here it is. It says, this was posted on March 8th, and it says, how will or did you know when you were done being single? And that was derived from our from a post a meme that's right there underneath. Please don't get married until you're done being single. Okay. And so Tanya, tell us, please, what is it that inspired you to want to talk about this? And how does this hit you? How does this resonate with you?
I think that what made me want to talk about this post is because I am a couples therapist. And one of the things that I see is that people are getting married before they're ready. And when I say before they're ready, they really hadn't taken the time to understand who they are, understand their own dynamics, their own mental health and emotional issues that they have, or the what I call the emotional baggage that people bring to relationships. And so, that is why I wanted to choose this particular topic.
Okay, and so what are some of the things then that you would say that they need to prepare? And that's for both of you. That's a question for both of you, because y'all know that's my thing right there. Yeah. I call it dating preparation. Been calling it that for years. Or just even relationship preparation. But what are some of the things that each of you think, like top maybe 2 things that you feel they need to be ready to be married and get out of singlehood?
First, I think you need to be ready to be selfless, because marriage is not about you. It is not about you and everything that you want and desire. Those things that you did when you were single, a lot of those things you're not able to do when you're married. So that's, so part of that is understanding what your expectations are when you decide to get married.
What'll be your number 2 tip?
My number 2 tip is make sure you know who you're marrying. Yeah.
Now tell me more, because how can you know, Tanya? How can you know who you married? People be married 50 years. They say, I'm still learning my
Right. So what I mean by that is making sure that you know more about them than what's on the surface. Because a lot of times we marry people because they look good. He stands tall, or she looks, cute in her little frequent dress, those kind of things. So we got to get to know what's inside. A lot of times people clash because of religious reasons. On Christmas, we go to church, but on Christmas, we open gifts at a certain time. So just those things, trying to know, who you're with. How do you like to vacation? Do you like to sit on the beach and just chill out, or do you like excursions? There are people that have just disagreements that small that try to come together. And if you can't come together on small things like that, it's just, then it's a lot of other things that's going to fall apart. So, the thing is just having open communication and not being afraid to ask questions. A lot of times we're afraid to ask questions because if I show him or her who I really am, then they're going to run. So, don't be afraid to ask those questions. What type of relationship do you have with your parents? Do you talk to your siblings? How often do you talk to them? Things like that. Don't, and that when, because, don't get me wrong, you can never know everything about a person.
Right.
Because sometimes we don't even know everything about ourselves, So I'm just saying, just take time to know them. Because to me, in my personal experience, a lot of times people wear a mask for a long time because they don't want to show who they really are. They don't want to be vulnerable because then you might run.
That's very good, very good. And I obviously I agree 100% that you do that work to dig a little deeper. Sometimes folks don't know. They don't. People they surface with themselves. I've come across so many people who are just uncomfortable going within. So if they're uncomfortable going within themselves, they have no clue how to go, within with someone else. AB, tell us your thoughts. What are your top 2 tips on how to make sure you're actually ready to not be single anymore?
Only 2.
Okay,
Because
I'm trying to save you the trouble and the time. So we just
I think
out.
I would say the first thing, or this probably not even in no particular order, but the first thing that comes to mind is definitely healing. It's important to be healed from past trauma, past pain, past heartache, so that you're ready for something as serious as marriage. When we probably will never be totally healed of everything that we go through, or I should say, we're always going to bring something to the table. But those things that really block us, those things that really interfere with us being in a healthy relationship or developing a healthy marriage, they definitely need to be addressed before you take a step like marriage or even a committed relationship. I would also say, I'm a spiritual person, so I would also say develop your relationship with God and or develop yourself spiritually. I can say that if you find it in God, then you never have to search for it in man.
Say
I
that.
think
Say that for the people in the back.
if you find it in God, then you never have to search for it in man. And those things like love, kindness, gentleness, understanding, patience, all those things we often go into relationship hoping to find it in a mate, hoping that they can provide it for us, joy, happiness. We hoping a person can find it, who can provide it for us. But if we find that in God, if we find that in the being that's unlimited, that has unlimited joy, unlimited patience, unlimited kindness, then we don't go into relationships or into marriage trying to steal someone else's joy because we're coming in full already. So definitely you need to develop your spiritual relationship. Whatever God you serve. I serve Jesus, but whatever God you serve. And I will say, know yourself. Know yourself. You definitely have to know who you are as a person before you step into a relationship, before you step into marriage. A lot of people often say they lost themselves in a relationship. I think that a lot of the times we go into relationships not knowing who we are, and that's why it's so easy to get caught up in someone else's drama or someone else's life or someone else's issues, because our boundaries are weak, our standards are not set, and when you don't know who you are as a person, that would affect your relationship. And just one more, what's very important, after we're done healing, after we're done developing our relationship with God and knowing who we are, you definitely have to have develop a mutuality mindset. So what I mean, like open your life up for another person, especially if you're an individual that has been single for a while or for a long time. It can be very hard to open up your life, open up your heart, open up just your schedule and allow someone else to come in. We get stuck in our ways sometimes. And, after we're healed and all that stuff, we feel like we hit a certain sweet spot. And it can be hard to let someone in because we might think that they're going to mess it up. So developing the ability to let someone else in our lives is a task, and you have to be ready for that. That's kind of go with what LaTania was saying with the selfishness.
Mhm.
With marriage and relationships, it can't be no selfishness.
Man, that y'all just dropping all the golden nuggets here because yes, 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 and yes. And I think people think it's just gonna happen. I
Mm-hmm.
think people think it's just I'm gonna meet them and we're gonna be so in tune, we're going to be so compatible. This is the one that God sent. So we won't have those types of troubles. We won't have those issues. I think that's what people actually think. And the reality is if you don't do the work that they're talking about, you don't get that. You don't get that. And AB, I really love the one about really, and I guess that too Tanya goes into, like y'all said, the selfishness, opening your life to be shared
Mm-hmm.
over folks' head. Because even when you, and how I know it's over people's heads, because when you ask, what are you looking for in a relationship? Everybody goes straight into, well, I need somebody who's gonna do this for me. I need somebody gonna do that for me. I need somebody that's this. I need somebody that appeals to me this way or that looks this way, that pleases me. So for me, I rarely hear anybody say, what am I looking for in a relationship? I'm looking to love somebody. I'm looking to open my heart to someone. I'm looking to, share my life. I'm looking to connect with this person and we work through challenges together. Most people go straight to what I want rather than what I have, what resources I have to bring to this relationship. And that's just very telling of how far away from selflessness we are, you know. So let's check in with our audience here first. Now I saw that we do have, I told them to say something. We have Yolanda here. And welcome, Yolanda. We're so glad to have you. And she commented that this is so good. And it really is so good. I'm so glad to have you out here to be talking about this. So, moving into our topic, the good stuff. So, we have been discussing for the past 3 weeks love and respect. And for a number of reasons, but primary being I came across back when I was in school, a well not even that far back. It was since then. It was a couple of years ago, and it was about um it was an article, not an article, but it's a woman who wrote, her and her husband wrote two books. One is called it just slipped my mind. One is called For Men Only, and that's telling men about understanding women. And then there's one called For Women Only, it's telling women how to understand men. Her name is Shanti Feldhahn. I'm not sure her husband's name, but I got caught up in hers because I was on the For Women Only side, And she hosts these workshops where she would go and have couples to come, and then she would sit all the men over here and the women over here, and she asked the question: if you could only have one, would you rather just have love? Would you rather have respect? Raise your hand if you want love. All the women, love. On the other end, she asked the men, same thing. Would you rather have love or respect? Raise your hand if you want respect. All the men, respect. And I just thought that is such an interesting dynamic that back then, this had to be at minimum 7 or 8 years ago. I could have been watching a video that was even older than that. So it's potentially older than that. But let's say it's about 10 years old. 10 years ago, generally speaking, men were very much, I need respect, I need whatever that means. We get into that in the point. We get into that in a moment. And then women were, I want love. Now, I asked that same question in a group of about 18,000 men and women now 3 weeks ago. And I checked it, I think, a couple days ago. And the majority of the people, men and women both, wanted respect. And so now back then, let's say that was 2011, there was a distinct split. And today it is everybody's leaning towards respect. So we started out on a journey to understand why that might be. That's why we've had these 3 episodes on this topic. And we've heard from a female perspective who she leans more towards wanting the respect. We've heard from a male perspective. That was episode 2. He leans towards respect. Now I'm an anomaly. I said love. I got my reasons, but anyway, we'll get that later on. But what I want to know from our guests is, one, how do you define respect, and how do you define love?
Hmm.
Y'all tight. Go ahead, Gary.
Great, sir.
Well, I think this love and respect, it is based on an individual versus what society says what love should look like, and
Right.
women want love and men want respect. I just listening to you, I feel like you have to define what love looks like for you and what respect looks like for you. And I tend to lean toward wanting respect,
Mhm.
because a person can love you but not respect you. And so it has to be defined within the confounds of your relationship. So, what is love going to look like for me? And what does love look like for you? And what does this respect look like for both of us? And so, when you sit down and think about it, for me, I want love, but I think if you respect me enough, the love is there. Because to me, respect is loving me in the way in which I need to be loved. And of course, that comes with knowing who I am. Going back to the beginning of what I was saying, knowing who I am. Do you know how to love me and respect me at the same time? So I really lean toward I want to be loved for sure. I
So
do.
how do you define the two? What's your definition of respect and your definition of love?
So my definition of love is nurturing and caring for me, intimate times with me,
Mhm.
um, though being vulnerable with me, and me being vulnerable with you, sharing my innermost feelings and emotions with you. Those things that's just intimate or sacred to our marriage in the case of my
Mhm.
marriage.
Mhm.
Um, Loving me in my language, which is physical touch and quality time. So for me to know that I'm getting love from my husband, he knows that I love to travel. That's loving me in my language. He
Mhm.
knows that I like physical touch. So giving me a kiss before we go to bed or before we part ways, a ritual that we have. So just really knowing me enough to love me in the way in which I need love. And my love language is physical touch and quality time. Respect means also that you care enough for me to show me. This was a hard one. So let me just give an example. Okay, so respect for me looks like you caring for me. Um, you won't embarrass me. You,
Mm.
you nurture me as well. Um, if you're gonna be late, you're gonna call me and let me know. So you care about what I care about.
So it's like honoring you and
Honoring
being
me. Yeah,
mindful of
yeah,
you. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so the
Okay.
honor, respect, they kind of honor, respect, and love. All that for me, it goes together, and that's when it's unconditional. So if I don't give you the love or the respect that you need, can you still love me? And can I still respect you when you don't love me in the way I need to be loved? So
Okay.
when you become married, I feel like it's unconditional. So because I'm mad at you, am I gonna respect you? No.
Right. 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 Got it. Got it. AB, what's your definition? Your personal or professional definition, either or, of love and of respect. How do you define them?
You know, it's a trick question because those two things are very hard to define. But
Yeah.
I'll
But you
I'll
click like
try
that.
my
I'm
best. When I think about love, I really think about like a certain level of connection and intimacy.
Mhm.
Um, I think of it's action, but it's also emotions. It's what you do. to express your love, the things that you do for someone, which can encompass respect. But there's also a lot of other things. Love love can be kind of like acts of services. I'm doing something for you, or I'm caring about you. So love is so broad and so hard to define. But when I first think about love, I'm really thinking about that intimacy, the connection, something that has to do with two hearts combining, not necessarily in a romantic way. It could be with a family member. Um, when I think about respect, the word that you guys said is the first one that popped in my head, like honor. Respect has to do with like a lot with honoring someone and holding someone at a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say a pedestal, but holding them at a certain level of you know I can't even think of the word I'm thinking of, but on a certain just hurting or holding them on a certain level. Well, respect has to do a lot with what LaTania was saying, the way that I communicate with someone. The way I act towards someone. The way I represent them. All has to do with the level of respect for someone. But both of them, love and respect, can sometimes be like intertwined. Like there's a lot of overlap.
Mhm.
Uh-oh, you froze up a bit.
There's some overlap.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I agree that there is some overlap. So, um, my personal, just so we have everybody, to be clear on what everybody think about it, what everybody thinks. My personal definition, I shared this on in the past episodes. Respect is about what you do. It
Mhm.
is I honor you. I give credence to you. I defer to you because of what you do, what you've proven you're able to do.
Mhm.
Just your abilities, literally, of what you can do. Whereas for me, love is about I am committing myself to you at all these different levels, despite what you do, despite what you do and how you behave. That's that's my personal
Mhm.
definition. Um, and so that's why I say I personally would prefer love because I ain't gonna be acting right all the time.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna know how to do everything perfectly, and I still want you to be nice to me.
Mhm.
I still want you to be kind to me and to give me grace. I tell you, it's interesting because you said you feel like you can't love without women. You can't respect you. You can't love you, and the respect is not there. And I feel like sometimes that you can love people. I have people that I love, but I have not. I don't respect them. It's like I don't their actions and the things that they've done, or should I say? And I don't say when I mean actions, I mean in terms of their abilities, not actions like as a person they make a mistake, but when I talk in terms of respect and I talk about actions, I'm talking about you know the the things that they're able to do in the world and how they move, and I'm like I don't respect that. I don't give you any extra credit because of this thing because you're the CEO of whatever. Okay, I applaud you. You made something, but then how you treating your wife? I don't
Mhm.
respect if you do her wrong. And yeah, you don't climb the ladder, but I can't respect it. Love you as a person. Want to see you
Right.
do well. I give you grace to get space to fix it and all that. But respect, I'm not there with you. But I have a general love for everybody.
Mhm.
Um, I tell both of y'all I love y'all right now. I don't feel no kind
Mhm.
of way. I don't know everything about y'all. I don't know nothing, but I'm like, I love y'all. And
Yeah.
Charles, our guest from last week, he spoke about how, dang nabbit, I lost my train of thought. But he mentioned something about how like y'all were saying, the two are intertwined, but also that oh yes, okay, so yes, also he mentioned that the types of love, the levels of
Mhm.
love. that agape love, we done heard about that. Agape love, the filial love is just like brotherly love. Then agape love just kind of the whole just for mankind. And I think when I'm saying love, I mean that. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean the type of love that is just a general positive regard for every human being because they reflect the image of God.
Mhm.
And I would rather have that than you to have to learn. Again, that's according to my definition. Then again, for you to have to learn about how I contribute to the world and all that stuff. I'd rather have the love factors because I feel like you can love me and not respect me, but you can grow to respect me.
Right.
But love, you have to decide that at some point, and I think people put that decision off for a really long time. So when you guys are working with your couples in therapy or even individuals, what are some of the things around these two, love and respect, that you see that's causing a lot of drama or trauma in relationships? AB, you go first this time. It's on your break.
I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm seeing, or a lot of stuff that I see is that a lot of people had not learned what healthy love is.
Mm,
A lot of people have gone through trauma, which affects the way that they experience love, or the way they express love, or the way they interpret love.
hmm.
And when you have two different people coming from two different walks of life, had their two different experiences, and now they're trying to combine their worlds together, but they was educated about love and relationships one way, and the other person was educated by love and in relationships a different way, and then you're trying to join that together. That can cause a lot of conflict. That can cause a lot of issues, because they come in with our expectation of what love is supposed to be, or what it's supposed to feel like, or
Right.
how someone is supposed to express it, or even how we express it to someone else. But that doesn't necessarily mean that our mate will receive it that way. That doesn't mean that our mate will express love in a way we can receive it. So, that's a part of the growing pains of marriage and relationships, is that, you guys bump heads until you can, I guess, compromise and become vulnerable and learn
Hmm.
how to communicate and get on the same page, as far as how we're going to love each other, how we're going to respect each other, and how we're going to do it in a way where one receives it and the other one feels comfortable in giving it.
Mm,
Because
that's
just
good.
because you want to receive love that way, that doesn't mean I may not be comfortable with giving it that way, and that might be a barrier that I have to get over. If I'm married to someone that likes words of affirmation, and I'm a person that likes to express my love through acts of services, but I don't speak it much. That's
Not
something I
moving
will
to,
have to,
yeah,
I will have to figure out how to love this woman in the way she needs to feel love. Because no matter how many acts of services I do, it doesn't fill her heart up with feeling love. So,
yeah,
and I see that a lot, in couples just trying to, fight those challenges and learn each other.
yeah. Learn what each other's love languages. Because I think it's a wonderful resource. The love languages quiz is a great place to start. To
Mhm.
try to get an understanding. Once years ago, I interviewed like 7 or 8 couples. They all had been married at different amounts of time. Some over 20 years, some just 1 or 2 years. And one thing literally all the couples had in common was that we did the love languages thing, and it changed everything. I think it kind of opens the door that your spouse, it lets you know that your spouse is just not trying to be difficult. Like this truly is just they receive love differently,
Mhm.
and I think a unbiased quiz like that gets the partner to say, oh, okay. And every couple I talked to was like, we did that, and it changed the game. It
Mhm.
changed the game, and so I think it's very much as you said, AB, about how to give it in the way that they receive it, and being willing to learn how to do it if it's not your natural way. That's really good insight. LaTania, tell us, what have you been seeing as it pertains to love and respect in these relationships and the couples that you work with?
So I want to piggyback off AB. in that the love language part is really important. One of the things that I see with my couples a lot is they come in and they say that I love her or I love him. They genuinely love them, but they don't respect them. So that looks like I love you, you're my wife, but I'm going to have an affair every now and then. Okay, you love me, but you don't respect me. And so that's why I mean when I said sometimes it's better to have the respect, because if love looks like you having an affair, then I don't want that love. I want to be respected. Whereas you're not going to go out here and disrespect me in the community by, being with another person outside of the marriage. And so, and even if you do know my love language, to me, it's respect in learning how to implement that if that's not your language. If my love language is physical touch and you want to go out and buy me some shoes, you're not loving me in my language. And if the behavior continues, then I feel a little disrespected that you don't care enough to love me the way I need to be loved.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Just the whole idea that I like how you present that you can love me, but then it's very disrespectful to then go out and cheat on me. And I would say then I don't know that they love. I think they think they love. Yeah. I think they think they love, but I don't think that they actually do love. Let's see. Let's see.
If I can add real quick, like as we talk about love and respect, it really has to do with the dynamics of the relationship to me. Like if we're talking about a romantic relationship, there has to be a balance. They both have to be included. Like
absolutely.
I don't think one can really go over. In my opinion, one can't go over the other. If we're talking about a platonic friendship or business associates, then yes, I want you to respect me. I don't necessarily need your love. But if we're talking about a wife or a fiance, girlfriend, or whatever, a romantic relationship, like there has to be a balance of both. You gotta love me and you gotta respect me. Because if you just respect me, but there's no love, I think they're gonna affect each other. There's no love. You're gonna eventually lose some respect, or if you don't love me, you're gonna act in a way where I feel disrespected. And if you only respect me, then I'm not going to feel love. Like I think there has to be a balance of both if we're talking about romantic relationships.
Okay, and I agree. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying you need to have or want or desire one over the other. This was just for the sake of this conversation. If you could only have one, which would you choose? Now, let me ask y'all this. Like I said, this started from me looking at her little, I guess you could say, research with that little group of people that she had. Why do y'all think at that time that men wanted respect and women wanted love? Why do y'all think that was the dynamic that was observed in her doing that little survey in that moment? Either one of y'all that want to speak up.
It could be that they didn't really understand the dynamics of love and respect, because automatically I love love. I love love. And it just depends on what love means to you. And so sometimes people, those women may have equated love with a certain thing, and men may have equated respect looking a certain way. So, who knows what they were thinking whenever they took the survey. I think those people individually had their own ideas of what both of those meant for them.
Go ahead, AB.
For men, I think it has to do with the way that we're conditioned, the way that we learn. We know all about respect. We know how to show respect, and we know what to expect when it comes to respect. So we value that a lot more, because we kind of associate love with things of the heart, emotional, and things expressed as being very expressive. And we're not always totally comfortable with that. So and we don't totally always understand it. So I think why a guy would choose respect over love is because he's more comfortable. He understands respect. He knows what it looks like. He know how to give it, and he know how to receive it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I want respect. But when you say love, I'm like, okay, does this man have to be given flowers every week, or what? I gotta serenade her? Like, so I guess we're just more comfortable with respect than we are with love. Love requires you to be very vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
not
that's what I
always.
was.
Mm-hmm.
You went
Yeah, not
straight where I
always
was
something
about
like
to
that.
go, which is the fact that I think a lot of people, that's my explanation for why it has shifted, where more women have leaned more towards respect because more people in general don't want to be vulnerable. It
Mm-hmm.
has not been a safe space in the world for a lot of, and I mean, my work is with us. I deal with us. Okay. It's not been a safe space for us to just
Mm-hmm.
open our hearts and do that and say, can you love me? Let me expose all the ugliness. Let me, show all this and you can receive it. Can you receive that? Can you receive my mistake proneness? Can you receive that I'm short in this area and I'm great in this area? And I think we don't. I think we have I think it's all the decrease of people wanting love versus wanting respect. To me now, y'all know we have, because we see it as different. The decrease for me is because of the lack of how a lot of women today, and when the work I do, I work specifically solely with single women. I'm seeing that femininity piece, that softness decrease because they don't want to have that vulnerability. They don't want to be that exposed, to say, I want you to love me. And even if they don't have a clear definition of what love is for them, it's like I don't want that side of me to be said. So yes, respect me. Respect that I've gone to school and I've completed this and I've done this and I do that and I do, and that's why that's my explanation as to why there has been such a great divide. Let's go over to the comments real quick and see what all is being said. So Vanessa asked, she asked who conducted the survey. She's late to the discussion. So Vanessa, it was um, a lady by the name of Shanti Feldhan, Feldhan, and yeah, she it was a survey, and it's great that you mentioned it because I pointed out that distinction in a previous episode too, where she surveyed a group. I'm imagining that it was middle class white people, our vanilla sisters and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I went here in 2021 and asked it in this group of 18,000 people, that's a primarily African American group.
Mm-hmm.
So, that could be a difference, that could be a difference. And that could be a whole nother show to talk about the cultural dynamics of love and respect and what that means. So thank you for asking that question. Sabrina says, yes, indeed, you must be willing and intentional about being vulnerable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and then that's when you can get to have that love. And so I can see why people would say, I don't want everybody to love me. I don't care if everybody love me. I'm so opposite. Here I am, open book, wide open, what you need, what you want, and you still gonna respect. Because I feel like if you can manage to if you can manage to love somebody, you're gonna respect. And so I know how that can go back and forth
Yeah.
each week. I
Yeah.
see, what I'm saying? I see how that. Me and Charles really had a great conversation about that last week, because it's all kind of rooted in just how you value a person, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I got another question I'm gonna ask after we go through these comments. Okay, Sabrina also says there has to be a balance and understanding between you and your mate. Absolutely. Vanessa said, we already talked about that one. Let's see here. Somebody else typed something. So it's like moving all the comments up. Okay, she said, interesting perspective. All right. And then I think this is Yolanda. She said earlier, I made note to define what love and respect means to me. I think that's the biggest piece right there, to make sure you truly have a definition of what that means to you, however that falls. Whether you fall on either side of that, whichever side, know for sure, because that's going to be a boundary that, like they were talking about earlier, what does it take to make these things work? It's going to be knowing for yourself what that means for you, and then pursuing that,
Mm-hmm.
and not letting anybody cross that boundary.
Yeah. And I think as far as when I think about why it's been such a decrease in love or
Mm-hmm.
the desire for love. There's a lot of hurt people out there.
Mhm.
There's a lot
Absolutely.
of people that have been traumatized. I mean, from a very young age. So it's not, you're not only traumatized like with relationships. I see children every day that's been molested or
Right.
been violated, abused from a very young age, and by people that were supposed to love them.
Mhm.
Right.
And if you're developing in that type of environment or those type of situations, you're going to learn to not trust love or even want love.
Mhm.
So
Ah,
when you ask the
good.
question, yeah, when you ask the type of question, what do you prefer, respect or love? I don't want love because I know what love was supposed to be to me and what it did to me. And that's when healing has to come in, because now they have this negative view on what love is. So I don't want it, but I want you to respect
Mhm.
it, because
That is
you're not going to violate me if you respect
Mhm.
that is such a pivotal, a great, I mean, just excellent nugget that people have been hurt
Mhm.
about what they thought love should have been, or what they thought should have been assumed love. It wasn't.
me.
So
Mhm.
that's an excellent point. That is a absolute excellent point. Tanya, you got anything to say today?
All I could think about was Tina Turner song. What's love got to do with it? That's what I thought about.
Yeah, been
Because
hurt.
like I said, couples come in here all the time, and they'll have a general blanket statement. I love you, but I love you, but I love you, but I love you, but you don't do this for me anymore. I
And
love you,
see,
but
when you
you
put
don't do
that
that.
butt in there for me, that's when it ain't love no more. It's lust. My
Mm,
grandma used to say that all the time. She would say that she used to grieve her heart so much. And
mm,
she was talking about, she said, we don't love each other.
yeah.
And she's just like, we don't love, we lust each other. And when
Mhm.
I stopped to think about it and took time to really understand what she was saying, lust is again about what can you do for me? That's
Yes.
you get to say I love you, but no, we
Mhm.
should just all say I lust you, and so because I lust you, da 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 da. The stuff that's my point. The stuff we're calling love
Right.
ain't love.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
point. And Vanessa, who shares a name with you, do you know her? I mean, not Vanessa. I'm sorry, Jono.
That's my husband, girl. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. You better
and
go, husband.
come on, husband. Husband said the word love has been used and abused, misunderstood for love. Exactly. Never
Mhm.
truly defined in relationships. So people choose respect more. Come on, husband. 100%.
Mhm.
I 100%
Mhm.
agree. The stuff that people are coming to our offices and saying, "Oh, I love you," but it's
Mhm.
it's not love.
It's
We got to come up with what love really truly is, what
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
actually is, and not the stuff that we call love and slap a label on. Because
Mhm.
the lust will hurt. Lust
Mhm.
hurts because it's just bullheaded going for what I want, and I don't
Mhm.
care how it hurts you, how it affects you, how it impacts you. I'm going after that. And so I feel like, yeah, what people are calling love is truly lust. I agree with you, Mr. McAdoo.
Mhm. Well,
Absolutely.
Tracy, it kind of makes me think about this show that you watch and I watch, and that's Married at First Sight. And it's like they're trying to force these people that's only known each other for 8 weeks to say I love you. And that's really lust. I love what I see in you right now. I don't know if I can love you in 3 more months. So that is the epitome of lust. You're infatuated with this person, but infatuation wears off. And that's what people don't understand. That's why part of the reason why the divorce rate for first marriages is 50%, because I lusted you. I didn't really love you because I didn't really know how to love you. I didn't really know how to show you love. I didn't know how to love you in the way you needed, and vice versa. So, like my husband said, we do mix up lust for love, because I was in lust with him for a long time. And then love happened because we kept at it. But
I
it
love
doesn't
it. I love it.
it
Come
doesn't
on.
happen overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight, and I think that on especially on love at first sight. I mean, I love at first sight, Jesus. Married at first sight.
Mhm.
I think they try to go beneath the surface and make them not put the focus on their looks or their appearance,
Mhm.
the sex is great, whatever. They try to make them connect them based on that stuff
Mhm.
that's deeper, that does form, the love piece.
Mhm.
Um, that's what I believe they try to do.
Mhm.
They try to take the lust part out. Um,
Right.
and then the couple come together and their immediate thing is, okay, how they look to me, how they make,
Mhm.
but, and then I hear them say it so many times during the show, they put us together for a reason, so let's figure that out.
Mhm.
And so I think that can be a wonderful foundation for love
Mhm.
if you are at the point in your life where you can look past how somebody look, because this season
Yes.
is a mess. But if you can get past how somebody looks and how it may not
Mhm.
be exactly what you wanted looks wise, or maybe he's a little this and she's a little that, and look
Mhm.
past and see wait a minute, but what was the foundation on which they tried to they put this relationship together on?
Mhm.
Oh, come on, hey baby, they're like, nope,
Yeah,
come on,
that
talk to
show is just that show. What they're trying to do, they're trying to take the arranged marriage, what works in what would be that, the eastern part of the world, in the eastern part of the world, India, but they don't realize arranged marriages. The people that are put together in arranged marriage, they're born and they're raised to be a husband and a wife, like from birth. Like you're gonna marry this person from this family,
me.
you're gonna marry this person from this family, we're gonna put you together. But throughout their whole life, we're teaching them how to be a husband, they're teaching them how to be a wife, and what to expect and what to do. So when the two people come together, it should work. With this show, you're bringing total strangers together that grew up in America, that went through all types of craziness, had all types of trauma, all came from all types of different family backgrounds, and you're trying to put them together based off of whatever they wrote on a piece of paper. And that's the thing about this show. Like sometimes it's hit or miss with that show. Like
Yes.
It absolutely is, and I think that's why they call it an experiment. So people
Mhm.
get in because they are at points in their lives where they're like, I'm not obviously not having no success on my own. So let me see if I
Mhm.
can,
Yeah.
submit my life to the professionals. But that is such a great point. Those cultures where arranged marriages happen, those people are taught how to be wise, how to be husbands, how to come
mhm,
together with somebody, and like we were going back to the beginning, how to open your life to someone. There's no, it just is what it is. Us, we come up in a very individualistic society that
mhm,
does not, that somehow promotes coupling, but not necessarily companionship, and not
yeah,
necessarily actual foundation
relationship.
thing. So it's really, that's a really great observation. I don't want to leave none of these comments. Y'all keep coming, but I'm gonna put them up here. Vanessa said, accomplishments in education doesn't matter in a relationship in the long run. I don't mention my education accomplishments until I feel comfortable to share.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then says, she says, thank me for, oops. She says, thank you for saying who conducted the survey. Absolutely. She says, I hate that people go through that, being molested and raped. Yes, absolutely. It really changes their perspective on everything.
Mhm,
Very helpful, because we need awareness about love and respect, as well as what wounds may be affecting these areas. Absolutely. All
Mhm.
these things, she said, come through, husband. All these things
mhm,
have a huge impact on how we're going to experience either one of those things, because
yeah,
I personally believe somebody could get so caught up in trying to gain people's respect, they can become a people pleaser. So it ain't,
Mhm.
you have no clue who they truly are, how they truly feel
Mhm.
about it, because they constantly, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it, because I know how to do it.
Mhm.
I know how to
mhm,
get this thing done. And then their only value is what they do. I'm talking to a young lady right now. It's a very young lady. She's more like a mentee than a client.
Mhm.
Uh, and one of the things that she's dealing with is, she is a very big people pleaser,
Mhm.
and she is deep
Mhm.
in it, and trying to get her to recognize somebody can value you outside of the things you know how to do
Mhm.
is really hard for her. And it's a whole thing. So I think people can become too obsessed either way,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
become too obsessed. Let's see. Vanessa said, I watched the older seasons of Married at First Sight. I'm not sure which face that is. True, AB, about people from other cultures being raised to be wives and husbands. Absolutely, yes.
And I want to say something on that just quickly because we could do a whole show just on that.
Yeah.
They're raised to be wives and husbands and, to a degree, provide a service to their spouse. But part of being married, which I'm not sure if they're teaching, is to be happy. And to me, those look like the saddest people in those arranged marriages. So, and granted, I had a few couples that had arranged marriages and they were just unhappy. And one of the things that I remember one of my clients saying is my family arranged this marriage and I've never been happy in it. Never. So I feel like I need to stay in it because that's the cultural thing to do, but I'm not happy. I've never loved him. I've never been attracted to him. So the other side of an arranged marriage is, are we even compatible? Can we even connect on an intimate level, or am I just having sex with you just because you're my husband and not getting a thing out of it?
That's a whole other
that's why it's hard to try to do an arranged marriage in America, because you got all the influences of romance and love and things of emotions. Now, if you do it in another country where love is not that important when it comes to marriage, like then you probably wouldn't desire it as much. But if we take something from another culture and try to develop it in this culture and think it's going to stay the same, it's not going to stay the same because
now,
we have all these other influences around it.
Overall, the show is about arranged marriages, but if I'm not mistaken, because y'all know I'm trying to, but in the background of it all, they're doing things, I guess, to Americanize it. They do extensive tests on like compatibility things and things about like how these two people actually would engage with each other in a healthy way. They're not just picking. Yeah, you cute. You said you want somebody tall. You said you want somebody to put them together. Oftentimes it has literally nothing to do with like the looks and things. It kind of gets them in trouble sometimes. But I know that they do a lot of like psychoanalytic testing to try to match them on the things that would be potentially important to an American, not just our family and your family. We want them to get it. Come on, let's make this work. I don't think they do it. I'm 100%. I don't even think I'm 100% sure they do more than just putting people together, and it's based on some things. Before we go, because we up here at the hour, chat. It don't even feel like I've been on here with y'all that long. To be honest, I could talk to you two all day, but I do want to put this up here, and just get y'all's last thoughts on this. I pulled up the definition of respect and love. So let's see what we got here. Let me see. Shoot, it's not big. Let me make it big. Hold on. It says feelings of. Can y'all see it?
A little. Okay.
I'm trying to make it big. Okay. It said feelings of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Then another one down there says, due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others. Okay, I can see that definition as well. Now we go over here to love. The definition is an intense feeling of deep affection. I've always hated that definition. A great interest or pleasure in something. Meaning like, I love, like it says in an example, I love football. But an intense feeling of deep affection. So with those two things, with them, well, at least them define it that way. I want y'all to give me your final remarks because I like I said, we could stay here all for another hour and keep going because it's so much to talk about. It's some of the comments over here that I would love to unpack a little bit, but we ain't gonna hold you all day. So with that, Tanya, give me your feelings about that with those two definitions in mind.
Well, I don't quite recall. I needed to see it in front of me.
Oh, well, sure. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Add to the stream. Right
Yeah,
there, man.
yes.
Let's see.
And so, okay, that's yeah, right. So, an intense feeling of deep affection. Yeah, that is love. And like I said, I love. And so, I
Mhm.
just one of the things is just not really getting it misconstrued with lust. Because it's
Mhm.
we throw around love all the time. Because I do. I end my conversations with my girlfriends. I love you, and I really do. I really do.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and but respect is to me is a different ball game because when someone tells me that they love me, I say, okay, love you too, girl. But when they tell me they respect me, to me, there is that admiration that they have. And something in me that they see that moves them in a positive direction. So
Mhm.
I like you said, you just got to have a healthy balance of both of them. Just being honest.
Mhm. Now, AB, tell me your thoughts. I didn't mean to have it up the whole time. My bad. I want to make sure she she saw it.
You see, I'm seeing it.
I definitely agree with that definition of respect.
Mhm.
I think respect does come with what a person does, or maybe the status of a person. I think a person has to do something to earn respect,
Mhm.
in my opinion. And
Mhm.
so I agree with that definition. The definition of love, I think love is such a broad word or a broad thing that there's a piece of love in that definition, but I think it's also missing a whole lot.
I do
Um,
too.
I
I think that
think it's
definition
just
flag.
yeah, it's not just a feeling. I think your actions is also or a part of love as well. But I definitely agree with the respect definition.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that aligns too with my feelings about respect. That it's the key word for me on that was um elicited by what you do.
Mhm.
Mm.
And that's my whole takeaway with respect. It's about what you
Do.
do.
Mhm.
And to me, love is about who you are.
Mhm.
And that's why I want that one. So all that being said, I want y'all to tell people how they can reach you guys outside of this on social media. Tanya, tell us where they can reach you and tell us about your group. I know you have a couples group,
Oh
Tanya.
yeah, so I have a couples group on Facebook called Promises of Love, the number 4 couples, and there we are just there to inspire and encourage one another, and just to talk and teach about healthy relationships. So that's on Facebook is Promises of Love for couples. I also have a business, Hopeful Expectations Counseling and Consulting Group, that's in Charlotte, and the web address is www.hecounseling.com. So if you're in a relationship, please join us at Promises of Love for Couples on Facebook. Thank you.
And let me know if this is correct, Tanya. Is that that's the link for your group? I want to share it with the audience. Make sure
Okay.
here. Mm-hmm. I think it is. Okay. Yes, that's it. Okay, and then give us your website one more time. I'm going to put both up.
My website is www.hecounseling.com. That stands for Hope for Expectations.
Okay. All right. I should be able to type faster than this, but such is, my and you said your website is you said www dot what was that?
H hecounseling.com.
All right. And do you only see people in Charlotte? I mean in North Carolina? And do you
Yeah,
offer
currently I'm only licensed in North Carolina.
so you offer virtual services?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Awesome.
All right, AB, tell us how we can contact you.
Can reach me on my website or Instagram or YouTube, and it's all ready for relationship consulting. That's the number 4, ready for relationship. And I'm also on Facebook, but I go by my just by my name, AB Bracewell on Facebook. But if you're looking for me, ready, if you just search "Ready for a Relationship," you'll find me on YouTube, Instagram, or my website.
And could you tell us a little bit about your show on
Um,
YouTube or shows? He up here
yeah,
being honest, y'all. He be having some amazing conversations. Go ahead.
right now I have a show on YouTube. They both air on YouTube, which is called "What Was He Thinking?" Tracy,
That's
you was a guest on that show, and this season we're focusing on the sexual education of Black men in America. Where we're just talking about just all the things that impact the way we view sex, view women, and the way we act in behaviors. I mean, the behaviors we have in relationships. So that's
mm-hmm.
what I'm thinking, and I also do a live broadcast, Ready for Relationship Live.
Okay.
Absolutely, y'all. Go find both of these amazing individuals and all the work that they're doing. Go find them. Go follow them. Go enrich your relationship. I think the biggest takeaway here is make sure you define what love means for you, what respect means for you, and make sure you're getting both. That's the biggest piece here. Whether you lean towards wanting respect or love, make sure you're getting that, and make sure you can articulate that. That you're clear about that, and that way, you have a better chance of getting both. You have a better chance of getting both when you can articulate and be clear about what that means for you. Um, Y'all can reach me, y'all know that, at tracygrady.com. You can schedule a little consultation there. I serve people everywhere. And also, of course, join Soul Care for Single Black Women on Facebook and all over social media. And you can watch past episodes of Friday Live, including the two discussions we had beforehand on this. So, all that being said, thank you two for being on the show. We went over a little bit. I'm sorry, tell y'all clients, I apologize. um, but I hope to share and get on here and chat with you guys again. It's been an amazing conversation. And if you have nothing else to share with the people, bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.